Hello, everyone. Chris Klein and Paul Zaplotny here with Liberty One's strategy and planning team. We hope you're all doing well and having a great start to the summer so far. As we wrap up another quarter, we wanted to first off give you a rundown of what happened this past quarter and what is on the horizon for third quarter as well as the remainder of the year. We also want to share a few important planning items and some updates personally from the Liberty One team. So, Paul, let's start us off here. What happened this past quarter in the markets?
As we look back on the second quarter, it was definitely a quarter with some volatility. For the most part, it was driven by headlines rather than anything fundamentally changing in the market. One of the biggest contributors to that volatility was the situation in Iran. As tensions escalated, we saw swings in the market along with a noticeable spike in oil and gas prices, which is typically the immediate reaction when geopolitical risk enters the picture. Despite the headlines and short-term volatility, the market overall remained fairly resilient. We didn't see any prolonged disruption and things stabilized relatively quickly once the initial reaction played out, which is a good segue into how we actually handle that here at Liberty One.
Absolutely. So we rebalanced as we always do when we see volatility. This past quarter, we actually rebalanced twice as of this recording, once in mid-April and then again shortly after at the beginning of May. In our first rebalance, we trimmed off or sold and took some profits from our growth fund and our international fund, which have both started off the year pretty strong. We also bought back into some of the bond funds, value and real estate funds that had lagged behind at the beginning of the quarter. Shortly after, at the beginning of May, growth had continued its rise, and we took profits in that next rebalance and bought back into, again, some bond funds as well as international, again, that had lagged behind. As always, with our rebalancing strategy, we remain disciplined rather than reactive. Those headlines can feel really loud, but the plan always stays the same. So now, as we head into the next quarter, what can we keep a lookout for?
Yeah, Chris, as we move into the third quarter, there's a few key areas we're keeping a close eye on. So we're going to keep monitoring that situation in the Middle East. At the time of recording this, we actually just reached an agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We do remain cautiously optimistic that this will come to a close sooner rather than later as that gets implemented. The other big thing we're watching is interest rates. Right now, a lot of people think the Fed may start cutting rates sometime soon as inflation cools and the economy continues to slow a bit. If that does happen, borrowing will get cheaper. Things like your loans and mortgages become more affordable. And that usually helps businesses grow and support the markets. So overall, if we do see rates start to come down, that could be a helpful tailwind for markets as we move forward.
That's a great point. And something else that we've also been keeping an eye on and been asked about a lot has been the SpaceX IPO. On June 12th, SpaceX officially went public at a $1.7 trillion valuation, which is just mind blowing. Obviously, it's going to seem like there's a major impact on the markets because of that. However, only a very small portion of SpaceX as a company was made available to the public, only about 4 or 5%. So it won't have as significant of an impact as you might think it would on your portfolio. Indexes like the S&P 500, for instance, will take up to a year before they allow SpaceX to join the index itself. It has to meet certain profitability metrics, while other indexes are making certain exceptions to include SpaceX sooner versus later. For our clients specifically, SpaceX is only going to be a very small portion of our growth fund specifically, only a fraction of a percent. So very minimal impact on the portfolio overall. Anything else that we're keeping an eye on here as we head into the next quarter?
Yeah, some coming up early on the third quarter is the 530A or Trump accounts. These Trump accounts are expected to start on July 4th, and these new accounts are designed for children born between January 1st of 2025 and December 31st of 2029. And the government is expected to contribute an initial $1,000 for those who open the account. The goal is to give families another way to invest early and allow that money to grow over time, with some structure around keeping it set aside for the future, which is a good planning thing that we're doing for our clients, going to keep that on the radar. But there's also some other planning things we're keeping on the horizon as well.
Absolutely. So we've been doing a lot of tax planning with our clients across the board. Obviously, filing season was in April. We've been reviewing 2025 tax returns as they come in. So if you haven't yet, please feel free to upload that so we can run that analysis for you. A couple of key things that have come out of those reviews have been looking at employer withholdings across the board. We want to make sure that they are substantial enough so that you do not owe a significant amount of tax when you file next year, but also that they're not too significant where you get a large return. We want to get to as break even as possible on those employer withholdings if you are a W-2 employee. We're also looking at the SALT tax deduction, the state and local income tax. That was raised last year. It's a $40,000 cap. So it was great to take advantage of if you itemize deductions, and looking to do so again for this year. Last thing we're looking at is the opportunity for Roth conversions. If you don't have a substantial amount of Roth savings at the moment, it may make sense for you to convert some of your traditional IRA to Roth and pay the tax now so that you can have significant tax savings over the remainder of your lifetime. So we can project that out for you to see if it ultimately makes sense. Take advantage of current environment where we can. We also have a very big planning update as well on top of that.
That's correct. One of the ways we're implementing those tax analyses are in our new software, RightCapital. We're happy to announce that we fully transitioned to this new planning software. This is a really positive upgrade for us, and what you'll notice right away is a more dynamic experience. Your projections will update in real time as inputs change, so you can actually see how different decisions impact your plan on the spot. And from a meeting standpoint, it makes things much more interactive. Instead of just walking through some static numbers, we can adjust different scenarios live and show you exactly how these changes affect your long-term goals.
Absolutely. We're very excited about it. We've had some great feedbacks thus far. So if you haven't had a chance to see what your plan looks like in this new software, please let us know. We'd be happy to give you a glimpse into that. Also, just wanted to share, I guess, a new segment, if you would, some personal team updates from Liberty One. Paul, I think you were the most recent update that we've had. Some exciting news on your end.
Yeah, it's correct. So I recently became an uncle for the first time. Congratulations to my sister Sarah and brother-in-law Troy for welcoming baby boy Joey into the world. Fan recently traveled to Italy to visit her husband's home country for the very first time. And our other advisor, Jackie, although he's not too into sports, has become a major soccer fan with Haiti in the World Cup this year.
Gotta love it. I also had some pretty big news earlier in the quarter. My wife and I recently bought our first home down in Wilmington, Delaware. It will surely be a lifelong project, but we're very excited about it. And lastly, Julian and his wife Angela recently welcomed their son Nico into the world. They are both happy and healthy, and the family is very excited as Nico is about to turn 3 months old. Paul, anything else to share?
I think that's everything from us. We appreciate you guys all putting your trust in us, and I think Nico has a sign off for us here.
Oh, yes. Looks like Nico wants to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Thanks for watching.
Take care.